Hey guys, Ike here from Mike'sOutdoors.com. I'm here today to do a review on the SV28 45 power. Okay, so this is just like the 70 power, 75 power that we reviewed, except this is a 50 power, or a 45 power, I'm sorry. This is a 1545 by 50 spotting scope made by SV28. This comes with a lens cap on the front, comes with a cap on the back that screws off, has a sunshade on the front, which is a really nice feature. Has your zoom is right here in the back. You can see it zooms really nice and easy and quickly from 15 to 45. Has a real easy to use focus right here. If I can find the bag. Okay, so with this spotting scope, you're going to get the same thing you get with most spotting scopes out there. You're going to get a tripod, which is a good metal tripod. You're going to get a case with it. You're going to get the instructions. You're going to get a cleaning cloth. You can also buy this with an adapter that you can put on here and put your cell phone on here. This actually slides right over your eyepiece like this. Your cell phone goes in here and you adjust it to where you can see through it. Makes this thing super easy to use. So I definitely recommend picking up the adapter that goes with this and setting this up, and it actually allows you to see better through this thing, I think, and clearer at farther distances through this thing. So let's run down the features of this real quick. Okay, so this has a 50 millimeter objective lens on the front, 15 millimeter eyepiece on the back. Again, knob right here to focus it, adjustability right back here to zoom it in. It has a fold down eye cup on it, sunshade in the front. The prism in this is a Paro prism, P-A-R-R-O, and that is the type on that is a BK7. This is waterproof. This is fog proof, just like the other one that we tested out. This is nitrogen filled, and what this is going to, if you get this wet or get this out and it fogs up, it's not going to get inside of this. Your lenses on this are fully coated, and it's overall, for the money, this is just a really nice quality built little scope. So I took this out to a range, and the grass was so tall I couldn't see anything particular. So there's a truck lot right next to where we hunt. So I found a trailer that was 200 yards away and did some filming with my cell phone using the mount to mount it up, and did some filming with this thing. So we're going to show you how that looks through this scope at 200 yards with my cell phone. That trailer is 200 yards away, and this is with no zoom on my cell phone. This is on 15 power. This is on 30 power. This is on 45 power. Okay, so you can see there at 200 yards with the cell phone, pretty good. It's pretty good. You know, we took some pictures of a logo on the side. The logo is not that big. The logo was fairly small. I saw some chemical hazards on the side, some of the placards on the side, and we're able to see that with it pretty well. I wasn't able to read at 200 yards what the chemical symbols on that placard were, but there was also a couple other small letters on there. On the side there was a 501 that was probably a foot tall, each letter on that, and I was able to read those out of it really well with the cell phone attached to this thing. So really nice little scope. Probably not, definitely not as powerful as the other one that we reviewed, which my father-in-law has and took to a shooting competition, and the guys there were blown away with how good the other SV28 75 was. They were really impressed with how good that thing was. So if you're a long distance shooter, that SV28 75 power is probably the way to go. But if you're like me, you're going to be shooting at 100 yards 90% of the time. This SV28 at 45 power is an adequate scope, a very, very good scope for 100 yards. You get to 200 yards, you're just, especially like me, I'm shooting a 223 for my long distance gun. I'm probably going to see the bullet holes at 200 yards out of my .6, but out of my 223, those bullet holes at 200 yards are really going to be hard to see. But at 100 yards, you can see them, and you can see them well. It's a really quality built little scope. It's really, really clear. Just really impressed with how clear and how sharp it was. And everybody that my father-in-law showed it to at their shooting competition was really impressed with that, the clarity, the magnification, and just how good this spotting scope was for the price. So if you're a guy like me, if you're shooting out to 100 yards, this little SV28 SV28 at 45 power is going to do the job and do it very, very well. It's also going to be really good for deer around here. I'm lucky like that. If I was at the front of the property that I lease, to the back of it, where I can see the tree line runs in an L shape, in a Z shape. And if I was at the road and they were at the farthest point, I'd only be about 300 yards. And with this 50 power or 45 power scope, zoomed in, I could probably make out whether it was a buck or doe for sure. Probably wouldn't be able to count points, but at 200, I would be able to see width and height for sure, but probably wouldn't be able to count points. At 200 yards, I would be able to tell you that's 140 inch, 150 inch, whatever type of deer, and probably even be able to see that's a fork horn, you know. So it's a good quality scope at 200 yards for deer and wildlife and larger animals. You're just not going to see those 22 caliber holes at 200 yards with this, but you probably will be able to see those 22 caliber holes at 100 yards. So I think it's going to be great for a trip to the range when you're shooting like at your local range that goes out to 100 yards, or a trip to do some deer spotting and when you're going to see deer for 200 or 300 yards. If you're going to be shooting long distance, you know, 200, 300, 400, 500 yards, or you're going to be out west where you're going to be able to spot deer at super long distances, 200, 300, 400, 500 yards, and you're going to need a scope, you're probably going to want to bump up from the 45 to the other one that we reviewed. So we'll put a link to both of these down in the description below, to this one and the other one, and each of them has their strengths and each of them has their weaknesses, but I definitely think this one will be in my bag to go to the range and when I'm going to be shooting short distances, and I'll have the other one in my bag when I'm going to shoot long distances. So pretty happy with this SV28 45 power scope, and really happy with the quality and the price. A really good price point on this thing, so pretty impressive little scope overall. So we'll put links to this down in the description below, and the links to the more powerful one down there as well, in case you're interested in it for longer distance shooting. But definitely check this out. We'll put links to those in the description below, and you can check us out. Be sure to check us out on social media. We're on Instagram and on Facebook under Ike's Outdoors. And like always, we appreciate you guys watching these videos, and we'll see you next time.